What is going on, everyone? So I'm just jumping on real quick because we have some huge earnings today. I think the whole market was holding their breath to see NVIDIA's earnings today. And we also have IONQ's earnings. And I want to go over what they mean and give you all some predictions. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the earnings calendar and see what all happened today. So we had NVIDIA report, and their earnings there was, I would say, a flat reaction. The stock didn't go up a whole bunch after hours, and it didn't go down. So for the quarter, NVIDIA reported EPS of 0.89 on a revenue of 39.3 billion, and Wall Street was expecting 0.84 on a revenue of 38.2 billion. The company said it expects quarter one revenue of 43 billion plus or minus 2%, better than the 42.3 billion expected. So why is NVIDIA so important to the market, to the global market, to the US stock market? Because it's one of the biggest companies in the market. And also every single earnings, there's always this drama around, is the AI trade alive? Is the AI trade over? Are these data centers slowing down? You always you see the articles. You always see these companies trying to find cracks in the armor, really, of the AI trade and the NVIDIA trade, specifically because NVIDIA is so central to AI. So what makes NVIDIA important to the whole market is because AI is such a centerpiece of big tech companies' CapEx spend. You have huge amounts of money going in to build out AI data centers and data solutions. So NVIDIA reporting solid earnings today bodes well for the market. I also want to draw some comparisons to the last time we saw earnings from NVIDIA. So I remember the stock ran up to about $150 a share. We were squarely in a bull market. And as soon as NVIDIA reported, beat expectations, the stock sold off. There's been so much sell-off leading to these earnings and so much market uncertainty that this big tech player coming out with a beat, I think, is super impressive. And I think it bodes well for the market as a whole, especially tech. So my expectation is to see a good deal of buying pressure in NVIDIA to close out the week. That is a little bit opposite of what you usually see with NVIDIA, where after earnings, the stock sells off. But I really think this time is a little bit different because there's been just a ton of aggressive sell-off going in to this earnings call. So we also had IONQ report earnings today, and they reported a revenue of 43.1 million, a 95% increase from the previous year, driven by progress in building specialized quantum hardware and securing new revenue contracts. They still have a loss from operations of 232.5 million, a net loss of 331.6 million compared to 157.8 million the previous year. And it is my understanding that there is some share dilution that is happening. So IONQ is offering shares. So IONQ is offering an at-the-market equity distribution agreement with Morgan Stanley LLC, which it may offer and sell shares in common stock having an aggregate offering price of up to $500 million pursuant to an at-the-market equity offering program. So typically dilution like this isn't really seen as great news for investors. It makes shares less valuable. And we have to look at the wider picture of quantum as well. So let's take a look at their 2025 financial outlook. For the full year, IONQ expects organic and inorganic revenue between 75 and 95 million, with between 7 and 8 million for the first quarter. IONQ anticipates an adjusted EBITDA of loss of 120 million at the midpoint of the revenue outlook provided above. So IONQ's financials, mixed. I would say this is mixed. I would say that this isn't horribly, terribly awful, but it isn't that good either. And I think investors are definitely looking for the show me the money with these quantum stocks and with many stocks in the stock market in general. So the problem is with quantum computers, you can't really rush a new disruptive technology. It will take time for it to mature, and the money will come. It's just a matter of not if, but when. So think about NVIDIA in 1998 when they invented the GPU, and look at them now. What else is going on in the market for the rest of the week? So we actually had, for the first time today, a little bit of green in the market. It feels like it was a very long time. We're currently sitting at futures of, looks like the futures are red at this particular moment. The tariff pressure was confirmed again in the cabinet meeting today. I did listen to the full cabinet meeting, and it does look like Trump and the administration are very serious on tariffs. And in the short term, that could create a lot of volatility in the market. In the long term, we'll just have to see. It remains to be seen. He was asked by the press about retaliatory tariffs if the EU or Canada or any of these other countries decided to retaliate, and Trump's answer was they can't retaliate because we just won't do business with them, type of answer. So it does inherently create uncertainty, that's for certain. And so what do we do with this information? Well, we still have some pretty exciting earnings coming up. So I saw that JOBY did well. Let's see if... So JOBY Aviation after hours popped up a little bit. And let's see, we have on the earnings calendar, we also have NewScale, which has been a popular stock. We have ACHR. We have SOUN after close tomorrow. And I'm personally very interested in SOUN and ACHR, and an investor in both of the companies. SOUN got really beat up this year when NVIDIA, they have to file well in advance when they're going to sell shares. So what happened is they filed their form. The form came through that NVIDIA, essentially their investment portfolio, they had sold all their shares of SOUN. Does this mean that anything fundamentally with SOUN's business model has changed? No. In fact, it's looking like they're going to have a fantastic year. So I'm very excited to see the earnings for SOUN tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. So ACHR is an electric air taxi company, and they have been going through a lot of recent FDA approvals, and they're building airplanes. I think they just opened a plant in Georgia. They're an exciting company. I really like their PR. I like the designs of their airplanes, and I like the stock. So we will see how they do in earnings tomorrow. And Fubo reports on Friday. Also a company I'm interested in. They did the deal with Disney. In this earnings, we won't most likely see the dollar figure from the Disney deal in this 2024, last quarter four. But the next earnings, we're likely to see that bump. So we'll see. We'll see how those go. Keep your eyes. It's still going to be an exciting week. I do think the market showed signs of potential recovery today and then kind of gave it all back. So we're still not out of the woods by any means, but NVIDIA beating expectations goes a long way. I think that tomorrow we could see NVIDIA being bought hand over fist, and that could by itself lift up the rest of the market. And that's what I'm hoping for, because we really need some positive catalysts. There's a lot of negativity out there right now. There's a lot of uncertainty. As far as the quantum stocks and quantum trade, I was watching IONQ and watching the other quantum tickers after hours. It looked like some of the gains from the day were given back by Rigetti and QUBT. It was actually much lower when I looked earlier. I think there was a pretty significant negative reaction to IONQ's earnings, but it appears that has leveled out a little bit. So Wall Street didn't like IONQ's earnings. Wall Street was just not mad about NVIDIA's earnings, but not excited either. Obviously, the best case scenario would have been excitement and buzz. But NVIDIA is getting to the point where it's becoming a really good deal just as a stock with their continued growth, their low PE ratio relative to other Mag 7. I mean, look at Palantir, for example, which is trading at a much higher PE. And we just have to take this day by day. And I have an optimistic outlook for the rest of the week. We will see how it pans out. I hope you all do well in the market. If you found value out of this video and would like to see more content like this, please leave a like. Consider subscribing if I've earned it, and have a great day.